and keep yourself.
Namaskar and welcome to the news with me Deepika, and to start with the latest update, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is visiting Rome to take part in the 16th G20 summit, paid tribute to Mahatma Gandhi in Rome. Prime Minister paid floral tribute to the bust of Mahatma Gandhi at Piazza Gandhi on his first day of arrival at Rome ahead of the G20 summit. The Prime Minister will be visiting Rome and the Vatican City from 29th of October to 31st of October on the invitation of Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi. The Prime Minister will also join other G20 leaders during the 16th summit in discussions on global economic and health recovery from the pandemic. After completing 100 crore vaccination milestone, landmark achievement for the country, the Prime Minister has reached Rome for the G20 summit. And on the first day of arrival, he is paying floral tributes to the bust of Mahatma Gandhi in Rome's Piazza Gandhi. The Prime Minister is in Rome currently to participate in the G20 summit. He will also call on Pope Francis in the Vatican. And after attending the G20 meeting, Prime Minister will be in Glasgow on 1st and 2nd of November for the COP26 meeting. The Prime Minister, who is in Rome to attend the G20 summit, on the first day of arrival, pays floral tribute to the bust of Mahatma Gandhi in Piazza Gandhi in Rome. The theme of the 16th G20 summit is People, Planet and Prosperity, which has come from the 2030 UN Agenda for Sustainable Development. The Prime Minister pays floral tribute to the bust of Mahatma Gandhi in Rome on the first day of his arrival. In Piazza Cavour Public Garden, the bust is right in the middle of what was known in the past as the Noble Quarter. Its inauguration was done on 18th of April in the year 2008. in the last message given by Mahatma Gandhi, he said, "There is no way to peace. Peace is the only way." And on your screens right now, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi paying floral tribute to the bust of Mahatma Gandhi in Rome on his first day of his visit. He paid floral tributes to Mahatma Gandhi, who was the father of the nation. The Prime Minister has arrived in Rome to participate in the G20 summit. And the theme of the G20 meeting under the Italian presidency is woven around people, planet and prosperity. The head of states of G20 member countries, the European Union and other invited countries along with international organizations will also be participating in the G20 summit. And due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the G20 summit was organized virtually last time. However, this time the meeting is being held in Rome. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already arrived Italy ahead of the G20 summit. And on the first day of arrival, he reached Piazza Gandhi to pay floral tribute to the bust of Mahatma Gandhi. This is the 16th G20 summit being held in Rome this time, with the theme of people, planet and prosperity. And the summit comes at a time when India has already achieved a milestone of 100 crore vaccination. The first one in the world to achieve this feat. Right from the day when India was preparing itself for all COVID-related equipments and gears to the day now when India has already achieved the 100 crore landmark. The theme of the 16th G20 summit this time is people, planet and prosperity, and I'm joined by our correspondent Amritpal from Rome with more details on Prime Minister's visit to Piazza Gandhi. Amritpal, good evening from India. What is the current detail right now? Prime Minister Narendra Modi has, as scheduled, paid floral tributes to Mahatma Gandhi.
That's right, Deepika. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, after he arrived here in Italy this morning, by Italy time, he arrived this morning, and his first engagement was bilateral meetings with the presidents of the European Council and the European Commission, where issues of trade, energy, COVID were discussed. And after that, the second engagement of the Prime Minister was the Prime Minister straight went to the Gandhi Piazza. He paid floral tributes to a bust of Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation. In fact, as you were putting out these visuals, there were the Indian community living here in it there to see the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister in fact walked up to the Indian community and briefly interacted with them before leaving the venue. So basically it was, while in Rome, he was paying floral tributes to the statue of Mahatma Gandhi which was installed some time back when the celebrations of the India at 150 were being held. And it also happened that the Indian community had gathered there, and they were excited whenever the Prime Minister goes abroad. The Indian community is very excited to see the Prime Minister, and they wish to interact with him. So the Prime Minister made a departure. He walked up to the Indian community and slightly interacted with them.
Absolutely, Amrit. And what are the next steps on the schedule right now?
Well, what is next is that the Prime Minister has departed from the Gandhi bus. There is a meeting that is scheduled with the Italian Prime Minister, Mario Draghi. This is the first in-person meeting that Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Prime Minister Mario Draghi will be taking. This will be essentially a bilateral meeting, but of course, because Italy currently holds the presidency of the G20, and it is at his invitation that the world leaders have gathered here in Rome to participate in the G20 summit. So multilateral issues could figure in the discussions, but it will primarily be a meeting between the two prime ministers focused on the trade ties that the two countries have, the robust business ties that the two countries have, the people-to-people connect that the two countries have. Many of the Indian soldiers, there are historical connect in the sense that many of the Indian soldiers had fought in the World War II and liberated Italy in the World War II. And Italy still gratefully remembers, the Italians still gratefully remember India and the Indian soldiers' role in that. In fact, a little away from Rome, about it's a 45 minutes drive. It's a place called Casino, where there is a large cemetery of Indian soldiers who had been martyred in the war, in the Second World War, fighting here on the Italian soil. There is a business connect, there is cultural connect, there is a historical connect between the peoples, and the two sides shall be discussing that. Also, there are bilateral investments in each other's countries and how to take that forward. Especially, they have got affected during the times of pandemic, and the Prime Minister will be bringing up the issue of, is expected to bring up the issue of mutual recognition of vaccines, so that tourism, trade, travel.
And at this point of time, Amritpal, India has already achieved the global landmark of 100 crore vaccination.
Absolutely. India, that is an expertise that India is willing to share with the world, that after the second wave hit India, how India bounced back, Deepika, towards in fighting the COVID crisis, how it used technological platforms like COVID, and how it's vaccinated 100 people in such a short span of time. In fact, there are parallels that can be drawn with Italy. Remember, Italy became the epicenter of COVID. There were more than 130,000 deaths that took place in Italy in 2020, because two tourists in January of 2020 had Wuhan to Italy, and they got the virus here, and Italy became the epicenter of COVID in Europe. In fact, it was from here that COVID traveled. Is believed that the virus traveled from here on to Italy in itself fought back within 1.5 years. It's mass vaccinated people. In fact, the summit of the venue of the G20 summit is a huge modern conference hall which is converted into a vaccination center, and over 3,000 people were being vaccinated daily in that center. So the two leaders could share their experiences on that, and also India being a hub of production of vaccines, India could also offer to be a supplier of vaccines.
And India has already done that through its initiative Vaccine Maitri.
Absolutely, India has done that through its initiative Maitri, but we had sort of cut that down or stepped back after the COVID crisis. The second wave of COVID hit, and after the second wave of COVID hit. Now, at that time, once India has picked up vaccinating its people, India is ready once again to share its expertise with the world, and restart the supply of vaccines, especially to countries and parts of the world where the vaccine supply is not adequate. So the Prime Minister would bring this up, or is expected to bring this up during his meeting with the Italian Prime Minister.
Absolutely. While the global health concern is there on the agenda, there is also a concern on global safety, as we've seen the status of Afghanistan and safety in the overall context. How would you see this in tandem with Prime Minister's visit?
Okay, if we talk about G20, on the agenda primarily would be three things. Climate change, sustainable development, recovery, both health and economic, and dealing with the COVID pandemic. Now, this is which will form the major part of the agenda. If you look at G20, it is primarily an economic grouping. These are the 20 biggest economies of the world, 19 countries, and one, the European Union. When they get together, they control about 80% of the world's global GDP, 75% of the global trade. The area comprises the population, 60% of the control, the 60% of the world's population. So the decisions that they take here has a huge impact on the rest of the world. So when the leaders of these 20 countries, leading economies meet, it is essentially the leaders will be discussing about economic recovery in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic and how to bounce back from it. Of course, India is expected to put some proposals forward as to building better health linkages, but they could take decisions on reducing global corporate taxes. So it's primarily an economic grouping, but now with COVID, the stress is also on human recovery, not just the economic recovery, but also human recovery. So in that sense, G20, which was essentially taking economic decisions, is now slowly moving towards taking humanitarian decisions as well.
Absolutely. A big step towards prosperity, people and planet, as the theme suggests. And this will be Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 8th G20 summit. While in the last 12 years, this is first Indian Prime Minister to visit Rome. Amritpal.
That's right. That's right. Prime Minister has participated in, this will be his 8th G20 summit that he'll be participating since 2014 when he became Prime Minister. This shows India's commitment and India's heft at the G20. India being a leading emerging economy has a great say in the affairs of the world when it comes to both political decisions and also economic decisions. Clearly, participation in this first in-person summit after the COVID pandemic hit is being seen as leading to a step of economic recovery.
And if we talk about the theme as well, which is people, planet and prosperity, it has come from the 2030 UN agenda for the sustainable development. Please tell us more about that, Amrit.
The UN agenda has five things in it. There is this, the Italian president,
And Prime Minister will also be holding a joint meeting with the President of European Council. What will be on the agenda in that meeting, Amritpal?
President.
And that was our correspondent Amrit Pal from Italy, where the Prime Minister has arrived on the first day of arrival. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Piazza Gandhi to pay floral tributes to the bust of Mahatma Gandhi. Ahead of his G20 summit in Rome. And those were the visuals from Rome, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid floral tributes to the bust of Mahatma Gandhi, and the Indian community warmly welcoming the Prime Minister as well as cheering for the country. And Prime Minister will travel to Glasgow as well to attend the World Leaders Summit of the 26th Conference of Parties, which is COP26, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change at the invitation of the Prime Minister of the UK, Boris Johnson. COP26 is being held from 31st of October 2021 to 12th of November under the presidency of the UK partnering with Italy. The high-level segment of COP26, titled the World Leaders Summit, will be held on 1st as well as 2nd November. The summit will be attended by heads of state, government of more than 120 countries. COP26 was originally slated to be held in 2020 but was deferred to 2021 in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, moving on, Home Minister Amit Shah and senior BJP leader Amit Shah launched BJP's membership drive Mera Parivar, Bhajpa Parivar at Defence Expo ground in Lucknow. Hitting out at the opposition, former government led by PSP or SP did little for the development in the state. Amit Shah said that BJP-led government tightened the noose against criminals in the state.
उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर कई साल तक ये सपा सपा का खेल चलता रहा और उसने उत्तर प्रदेश को बर्बाद कर उत्तर प्रदेश और की कानून और व्यवस्था की स्थिति कैसी थी, मेरा तो खून खौल जाता था। पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश से कैराना से पलायन शुरू हुआ था। यहां लखनऊ के हुक्मरानों का नींद नहीं उड़ता था। आज मैं कहने आया हूं, उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर किसी की हिम्मत नहीं है पलायन करने की। पलायन कराने वालों का पलायन हो चुका है। हर जिले में दो तीन बाहुबली थे। दूरबीन लेकर मैं ढूंढता हूं, कहीं पर बाहुबली दिखाई नहीं पड़ता है। भाई कहे पर
And UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said that the membership drive target will be achieved within deadline.
हम लोग अगले एक सप्ताह के अंदर दीपावली के भव्य आयोजन के साथ जुड़ेंगे। इससे पहले प्रत्येक उस परिवार को जो मेरा परिवार भाजपा परिवार इस लक्ष्य के साथ जुड़ना चाहता है, उन्हें जोड़ने के लिए आज हम सब यहां पर माननीय गृह मंत्री जी के नेतृत्व और मार्गदर्शन में एकत्र हुए हैं। हम विश्वास के साथ कह सकते हैं, जो लक्ष्य संगठन ने तय किया है, उस लक्ष्य को प्राप्त करने के लिए आप सभी पदाधिकारी और कार्यकर्ता माननीय गृह मंत्री जी के मार्गदर्शन में प्राण से जुट करके एक समय सीमा के अंदर हर परिवार को भाजपा परिवार के साथ जोड़ने के लिए कार्य करेंगे।
And Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya launched nationwide expansion of Pneumococcal Conjugate Vaccine as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to reduce the cases of pneumonia among infants. Vaccine will help reduce the mortality rate among the infant of pneumonia. This vaccine will now protect the children from death caused by pneumonia. The Health Ministry said that children are the future of the country and children from poor families will now be able to get this vaccine.
देश के सभी बच्चों को समयसर वैक्सीन मिले, उसके लिए कई अभियान भी चलाए और उसमें ये न्यूमोकोकल वैक्सीन न्यूमोनिया के लिए है। देश में कुल मिला के 16% बच्चों का डेथ, 16% बच्चों का डेथ ये न्यूमोनिया से होता है। ये तो बहुत बड़ा नेशनल लॉस है। ये न्यूमोनिया के सामने ये सबसे बड़ा अभियान के तौर पे चलेगा और बच्चों का जीवन बचाने में ये पीसीवी वैक्सीन का एक महत्वपूर्ण रोल रहेगा।
And India has achieved 105 crore vaccination. Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya, in a tweet said that 105 crore vaccines of victory. Congratulations to the people as India's COVID-19 vaccination drive achieves new accolades, unquote. And in a major boost to COVID-19 vaccination campaign, Centre will procure 30 crore COVID vaccine doses in the month of November. Government will get 6 crore Covaxin, 22 crores Covishield and 2 crores Zycov vaccine. Har Ghar Dastak Maha campaign will be conducted from 2nd of November to 2nd of December. And under this, 12 crore doses will be administered. As part of the Har Ghar Dastak drive, healthcare workers will conduct door-to-door vaccinations of people eligible for second dose as well as those who are yet to be administered their first jab as a shield against the virus. Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya today flagged off 11 trucks loaded with relief material for Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Out of these, 4 trucks have left for Dehradun, while 2 each for Jammu and Srinagar and 3 for Ladakh. The relief material is an initiative of Red Cross Society in a bid to provide aid to people in the states where heavy rainfall has caused massive destruction recently.
इसमें ब्लैंकेट है, किचन के लिए ज़रूरी सामान है, मेडिसिन है, तत्काल आपदाग्रस्त विस्तार में लोगों को रहने के लिए टेंट भी है। ये सब चीज़ अगले दिन में उत्तराखंड, श्रीनगर, जम्मू वगैरह लोकेशन पर पहुंच जाएंगे। वहाँ से जनता को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया जाएगा और आपदा की स्थिति में लोगों को सहयोग किया जाएगा।
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh addressed the valedictory session of National Conference on Delivering Democracy, reviewing 2 decades of Narendra Modi as head of government. Rajnath Singh said Prime Minister Narendra Modi faced every challenge bravely during last 20 years. He added that his life should be taught in management schools as a case study of effective leadership and efficient governance.
Delivering democracy. Reviewing 2 decades of Narendra Modi as head of the government. यानी एक तरह से 21वीं सदी में भारत के लोकतंत्र ने कैसी करवट ली है और इस बदलाव में एक व्यक्ति यानी हमारे लोकप्रिय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी की क्या भूमिका रही है, इस पर चिंतन और मंथन आप लोगों ने किया है। मैं कह सकता हूं कि स्वतंत्र आजाद भारत की राजनीति में नरेंद्र भाई मोदी ने बहुत बड़ा काम किया, बहुत बड़ा काम किया। इस क्राइसिस ऑफ क्रेडिबिलिटी को उन्होंने एक चैलेंज के रूप में स्वीकार किया और इस चैलेंज पर उन्होंने विजय भी प्राप्त की। आप एक भी काम ऐसा नहीं बतला सकते जो उन्होंने कहा हो और किया ना हो। वर्ड्स और डीड्स, कृति और कथन में या कोई अंतर नहीं रहा है।
The Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology and Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences today signed an MOU with UNESCO's Mahatma Gandhi Institute. The Mahatma Gandhi Institute will provide online courses for emotional and mental well-being for the staff and students of the Kalinga Institutes. Dr. Achyuta Samantha, founder of Kalinga Institutes, and Dr. Anant Duriyappa, who is a director at UNESCO, signed the Memorandum of Understanding. The Ministry of Railways on Friday said that it has decided to withdraw the decision on Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation, which is the IRCTC, convenience fee. This comes a day after IRCTC said that it has been asked to share 50% of its revenue earned as convenience fee from bookings on its website. Secretary of Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, TII, Deepam Tuhin Kanta Pandey, informed on Twitter, the Ministry of Railways has decided to withdraw the decision on IRCTC convenience fee. Ministry of Railways convenience fee is charged. The convenience fee is charged from customers and generates a sizable revenue for both the IRCTC and the railways. The fee is not a part of the rail fare. It is rather for the service of online ticket booking offered by the IRCTC. Reacting to the news, the IRCTC shares had fallen around 25% in the morning session, but reversal of government's decision led to a short covering in the counter. As India has crossed the milestone of administering 100 crore vaccine doses of COVID-19 vaccines, it is leveraging its membership of multilateral financing institutions to boost the immunization rate of the country's eligible population. Beijing-based Multilateral Development Bank, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank and the Asian Development will co-finance a $2 billion loan for India to procure COVID-19 vaccines under ADB's Asia Pacific Vaccine Access Facility. About 667 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines were expected to be procured through the loan. AIIB's Vice President Dr. D.J. Pandian said the vaccines will be purchased by the Government of India through a competitive process and the ADB will be administering the purchasing system and implemented under ADB's APVAX or Asia Pacific Vaccine Access Facility mechanism. Besides funding various infra projects in India, the AIP has also granted $1.75 billion to India for the COVID-19 relief budget support. And in sports, 2 matches will be played in the T20 Cricket World Cup today. Bangladesh is already up against West Indies and is set to cross swords today at the Sharjah Cricket Stadium. The Caribbean team led by Kieron Pollard have had a disastrous campaign thus far, having lost both their games against England and South Africa. And the Tigers are also yet to open their account after back-to-back losses at the hands of England and Sri Lanka, while on Wednesday, 27th of October, England beat them by 8 wickets. And the second match later today is between Pakistan, which will look to move closer to a semi-final spot when it takes on Afghanistan in a Group 2 Super 12 game today. Babar Azam's men will start favourites against Mohammad Nabi's Afghanistan, which began its campaign with a 130-run win over Scotland. Mujibur Rahman, with his variety of off-breaks, googlies and cannonballs, finished with 5 for 20. Such was its dominance that by the time Rashid Khan, the number 3 ranked T20 international bowler in the world, came on to bowl, Afghanistan was already on course for a big win. And that's all for now in the news with me, Deepika. But news continues here on DD India. So keep tracking and watching. Namaskar.